What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Decks and Download, and in this video we are going to be going over, of course, the Sithest with the mostest, the sickest looking guy, corrupted and all-powerful, Darth Plagueis. So, spoilers for the Acolyte. Move on if you haven't seen it, because we have to talk about one of the best Easter eggs we have gotten in Star Wars for a very long time. Many speculated and wondered if we would have any ties to the Tenebrae Palpatine kind of line, and we do. Of course, we have the awesome scene in which Chimere and Osha are leaving their planet. We get the spindly fingers. When I first saw that, I was like, what is this, ring wraith? What is this, some kind of like ghoul? I knew, though, it was something powerful, or at least evil. And I could tell after seeing the hand and the robed figure that was following that the next scene was going to reveal something really crazy, and it delivers with this amazing, maybe 1/3 face shot of the Moon, I'm going to say Moon, Dark Lord, Darth Plagueis the Wise. The main point, though, we're going to be going over are two what-ifs, and then the part that really won't matter so much, resulting around Osha and May and the story of Plagueis, and how I think he's going to use them. But first, we're going to talk about if he is, or if he is not, the master of Chimere, the Stranger. I've heard a few other amazing theories, like from Dyad and Force Pep, how he believes that Chimere was actually brought back to life by Plagueis, and he has no idea that Plagueis is there. In a way, Sith whisperings to this once dead fallen Jedi, Padawan to Vernestra Rwoh. But I think it's going to either be two much more simpler things. I love that idea, and he's definitely going to be messing with midichlorians in life, because that's pretty much his whole shtick. But I will be leaning more on the side that he is Chimere's master, and Chimere does know of him versus not. But first, we'll go through the not section of the theories. This one opens up the idea that maybe Tenebrous is alive and sent Plagueis to go get him, or to look after this virgins and this dark Jedi that are kind of bonding together. With what we see from Plagueis' really corrupt face and the Sith eyes, he is powerful in the dark side. I think almost too powerful to truly still be an apprentice under Tenebrous. Now, it wouldn't be a terrible idea, though. He would be using Chimere the Stranger in a very tactical way, making sure that he never truly knows that he is skulking around the corner, but he is always there, giving him maybe these hints through the dark side, or just this complete manipulation of all events. Because I also would not be surprised if Plagueis is behind the witches and Brindok. Not to take away their awesome coven power, but simply to say that the Sith have always used other dark side cults to get what they want, just like we saw Palpatine do with the Night Sisters. Plagueis would be very interested in this dark Jedi who's growing into the dark side of the Force, and especially if he is taking an apprentice, an acolyte within Osha. That would be absolutely against the Sith rule of two. They're not going to allow any other dark side cult like that to really spring up and become that powerful. Even far back, what we learned from Dr. Aphra, the Sith Empire, when there were many Sith, would take down any great rival dark side cult. And I know the rule of two Sith are no different in that regard. And I really do think, though, that Plagueis is 100% the master of Chimere. He has been using him from the get-go, trying to push around his ideas to make Chimere fall in line and to get him the research that he needs.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
It's a Sith legend.
Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life.
With him already being this eldered and corrupted looking, I believe he's going to have to use Osha and May and their virgins, their essence of life creation in the Force, to study, maybe dissect, and just completely torment and test until he can really learn more about midichlorians and the essence of life transfer, or at least immortality.
It's ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
Maybe even making himself younger by absorbing the girls after recombining them into one essence, or simply just studying their literal genetic makeup enough to learn how to do it himself. Almost as if the Coven was a beta test, and now this is the full test. he used them to see if it was possible. It was, and it worked. Now if he sees the results, he can try to do that within himself. So of course, he's going to send out his acolyte, his apprentice, before Palpatine. Something's going to happen. He's going to kill him or he's going to die, and he's going to eventually have to get to Palpatine then. But for now, I think he's using Chimere as the perfect little apprentice just to get him test subjects as this moon of ultimate evil is trying to reverse age or to again strengthen himself in the Force enough to not be dead within the next 100 years. But we have zero actual canon explanation on moon lifespans as well. So like the Ki-Adi-Mundi thing, don't even fucking start. We don't know his age, but I'm sure we will eventually find it out. Or we won't. Remember, we have no idea and never will know what Yoda's species is or where they come from. That was a deal Lucas made when selling it. You can't tell people a few secret things. But then no one knows them. The point is to not have an answer. But if Darth Plagueis can capture, especially May 1st, since she's missing her memories, it'll be very easy to kind of trick and get her to him, then he could maybe become so much more powerful, so much more youthful and vital in the dark side of the Force, that he could then in Season 2 probably pull off one of the most amazing things we get to see as a dark side lover in Star Wars. Imagine Higo Damask, the alter alias he uses in the Darth Plagueis book by James Luceno, to join up with the Exterior Jedi Inspection Committee, or whatever it was that Ravencourt called them. And especially with the banking clan and Higo Damask being a part of such things, I would love for him to be on that committee, walking through the very Jedi Temple, surrounded by Jedi, talking down to them, inspecting Yoda and the Jedi Council, and having questions and concerns, and telling them that perhaps they have gone too far, they outreach with their dogma of the light side. To have Higo Damask standing in the council chambers, face to face with Yoda, and he senses nothing. Just like in Phantom Menace, who else would have taught Palpatine this power but Plagueis? So Darth Plagueis himself standing in the Jedi Temple's high chamber, just gloating inwardly to himself when he leaves, hiding all of his emotions while he's there, of course, to not be found out. Dreaming of the day he or his apprentice, but it's definitely of him. There's a reason he wanted to become immortal. He thought he was going to be one of the best Sith ever, like they all do. But to have his apprentice then eventually stand in that chamber, controlling it, and having taken it over with the Empire, the great plan of the Sith coming to fruition, destroying the Jedi, rebuilding the Sith Empire. Well, at least with the rule of two still, which I will always say every time I get to, is a horrible standard and should be eradicated. The old Sith Empire is far stronger. And of course, when we have Darth Plagueis in this next season and as a prominent member, because I'm just a huge Sith stan and can't help it, who better to voice him? But I think Hugo Weavor. That's right, Mr. Anderson. The way he would deliver the line so cold and slowly, but with that nice little tinge of a bit more age that he has now, perfect really for this role. I think Hugo Weavor would be a perfect Higo Damask, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Guys, what did you think though of Plagueis' return to the big screen and full canonization? What did you all think of the Acolyte? Because I know I loved it. It was definitely like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and even go ahead and again comment on your thoughts on the reveal of Plagueis. Everybody, I hope you truly have an amazing rest of your day, and as always, may the Force serve you well.